NB9X on Talk Group 1200. A tornado warning continues for west central Pinellas County until 9:45. A severe storm is approaching the Pinellas County coast at this time. Stations from Reddington Beach, Treasure Island, northward to Indian Rocks Beach should take immediate cover as this cell reportedly contains a tornado. NB9X 922.
B9X W4PXE, Talk Group 1200.
W4PXE, NB9X, go Dave. W4PXE, NB9X, go ahead Dave.
Find the copy of my policy in your email, over.
Thank you, sir. W4PXE, NB9X. Thank you, Dave. KD4ECG, NB9X. Roger that, Jason.
I just switched over here, Paul. Are you watching this signature west, northeast of Largo, west of South High Point? That looks like an upper level rotation there.
Roger. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at, too. In fact, it looks like it's right on top of St. Pete Airport right now.
Yeah, it looks like it may be tracking my direction. It's going straight for Oldsmar, and I'm wondering this Mike, I can't even think of his last name now, but there in Oldsmar, Mike's weather page, bet you he's hunkering down right now for this one. Hey, Jason, by the way, welcome back to Florida.
Yeah, thanks. I wasn't quite sure if I knew how to find it again.
Yeah, me neither.
Driving back from Biloxi yesterday, I hit the Florida state line about an hour and a half later. The good news is I'm in my home state. The bad news is I still have a long way to go. By the way, Paul, I'm coming in via reflector. If you thought there might have been any issues on Wednesday, I guess the fact that I'm talking to you on it tells me either there are no issues, or if there were, they've been resolved.
Roger that, Jason. Yeah, you're loud and clear, and I'm not getting any drops whatsoever. Of course, I'm sitting here less than 2 feet from the repeater. NB9X.
I wanted to take a look at mine. I've only got one bar. There's something's happened. I'll deal with it later.
Oh, go check it now. The weather's fine.
Yeah. I'll get right on it.
I just saw a rotation marker pop up in that same area as the, around Oldsmar, Evans.
Yeah, it just moved M7 north, but South Point, look at that wind field on the northwestern quadrant. It's actually over the water now, over in the bay.
I don't know if I've got the right view to see that. I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Go to dual window. Right now I'm running HRVR on the right and HRVV on the left at half a degree.
Alright, well I just got dual turned on. Now I got to figure out how to change views.
Select which pane or which window you want to change. I use the derived. I use between derived PIL and base reflective and base velocity. I jump around just to get different views and see what's going on. Base velocity will give you wind.
Alright, I think I have base velocity up. Let me just try to get some updates here.
Red is winds going away, green is winds approaching. If I remember reading that correctly or from what I was told.
I don't have any of that on my map, so I've got something that's not turned on this view. All I have are the storm tracks, the advisory windows, the rotation markers, but I see the graph on the far left side of the pane showing the red and green, but nothing on the map.
Probably wait for the next update to come. Now, for me, it's about 16 seconds away from updating.
Hey guys, I just pulled up the Pinellas County 911 log, and it looks like Seminole Fire is responding to that location, that 12 Oaks Mobile Home Park. They're calling it unconfirmed fire, but there definitely is something there.
There's that significant weather advisory that just hit for that marker out in the bay, north end of the bay.
Roger, putting it out now.
Evans, I finally got these maps in motion. Which of the base velocities do you set it at? I've got it at 0.5 right now.
Stuff close to the radar, I'll use a half a degree, and then over Polk County, I'll go up to 1 degree or 0.9 to see further out. Look up a little bit further and out, but half and 1 degree is normally what I rotate between.
I'll tell you what, guys, on this storm, or this particular one, the storm relative velocity at a half a degree really made this thing jump off the radar screen. It was very clear to see where the storm was based on SRV 0.05.
Yeah, marker 7, cell M7 just moved around Safety Harbor again.
Roger. And Evans, looks like that cell that you were referring to in the Safety Harbor area is moving right up over the Bayside Bridge that crosses the west end of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's already jumped. It's jumped twice on me. I'm going through the loops. It went north over Safety Harbor, and now it's come back south. So I'm thinking that's more upper level, because it's saying base 2,000, depth 9,000. Storm relation 47%. Height 5,000 feet. So I think that's 5,000 feet off the deck, but it's dancing around in the cloud there.
Roger that. And if you weren't aware, SPC put out an update right before this tornado warning hit, indicating that the greatest probability for supercell tornadoes would likely be after midnight. Yes, this maybe jumped the gun a little bit, but they're thinking that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Also, know that the main convection of this storm is to the east of the center. I think the west coast of Florida may end up with a greater impact than the north coast of Florida.
Yeah, look what and the TVW Hydro just threw up on the board, Paul. Fishhawk and west of Duet. Definite rotations, but currently broad. That's, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm seeing that. They just put those markers just posted also down there west of Duet, but definitely in Fishhawk. Jason, if you're not logged in, NWS bot just threw up. Pinellas County Fire Department rescue reports tornado at 9:20 p.m., 21:20 hours local. Several reports of damage in the mobile home park associated with a possible tornado. Maybe straight line. We can guess straight line wind, but gotta wait on their assessment.
And guys, it just moved on NWS Weather Chat. Looks like Seminole Fire has confirmed reports of a tornado at that 12 Oaks Mobile Home Park, and looks like there is a report of damage. NB9X.
Based on radar, that initial line looks like it's just a couple miles away from me, so I will be experiencing some of it here momentarily in KD4ECG. Down the center of that cell that's approaching you, it appears to be intensifying a little bit. Evans, it looks like they pulled M7 from the last update. I've got another one coming in 3 seconds.
Kilo November 4, Zulu Bravo call, coming in on 1200. Is this controlled now?
No, we're still informal, but we'll tighten it up if conditions warrant.
First, thank you very much. That also answers my question about whether or not my equipment's making it into the repeater. You gentlemen have a great night.
Good. Where are you located, by the way?
Northern Hillsborough County, Carrollwood.
Okay, are you coming in through the Riverview repeater?
Negative, I'm coming in through the 450 repeater.
Okay, great. Good signal quality, no dropouts there. So, yeah, you're doing good. And we'll send updates here. We'll broadcast updates here just as on analog. So if you want to listen here, you can. KD4ACG.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for everything that you get.
Guys, if you take a look at the base velocity 0.5 elevation, you will see some of the artifacts that were part of that storm down here in my area that have now moved up to the north of Safety Harbor. So that thing is moving, looks like about 030 vector.
It's tracking, looks like it'll fall just east of my location.
Finally getting a nice little shower here in downtown Lakeland.
Guys, not in the immediate neighborhood, but if you look out towards the western edge of the base velocity 0.5, you will see some winds that are in excess of 60 knots just coming into view now to the southwest of Tampa Bay, NB9X. Update on that, we've been scoping this area, and we now see a radar-reported cell that has winds of almost 74 knots. Granted, it's at 20,000 feet, but that's out there on the base velocity 0.5 display right now, southwest of Tampa.
Are you talking about the one southwest of Holmes Beach, Paul? I think that's a false echo.
He's transmitting on analog right now.
Sorry about that, Evans. I was on analog. Go ahead with your traffic.
Are you talking about southwest of Holmes Beach? Because that looks like a false echo from the radar. Because it goes from Piney Point all the way over Holmes Beach and out. I'm thinking that might be a little false echo down there.
No. This is out on the western edge of the half-degree display, the base relative velocity. And if you take a look, there's a line down there that runs from about 60 up to 75 knots. This is probably close to 100 miles west of the coast.
By the markers Lima 8 and the other marker to come up. I see two of them. There's a Lima 8 and got two Lima 8s. What the heck?
Both Lima 8 with two different.
Yeah, that does look a little impressive though.
If you look at the base velocity half-degree display, this is about 250 from Tampa out at maybe 100 to 110 miles.
Copy that.
Hey, Evans, on the, let's see which one I'm on, base velocity 0.5. Is there a way to broaden the color palette a little bit to make it a little bit easier to tell the differences in wind speed?
I'm not sure, Jason. Might have to go into settings and take a look and see. Yeah, you're going to have to fiddle around, but I think that might be program set.
Okay. And starting to hear the rain bang on the roof now here at home. Looks like this cell is going to be over me within about 5 minutes.
Hey guys, that incident down here in my neighborhood now has spawned 3 Seminole Fire reports here. Got 3 separate incidents, a building collapse and 2 fires.
Are they giving details on the kind of structure that collapsed?
Not at this point, but these things are popping up, and they're all within a couple of blocks of each other.
All right, well, I've turned on tracks on my view, and that the center of that thing that was over Oldsmar, right now the track has it pretty much a bullseye from me, although in the last few updates it has shifted west. We'll see if it continues to do that.
Hey, Jason, just kind of FYI, if you go to grlevelx.com, and then sign up for the owner's form. There's some information in there on color tables.
About another TOR, I think. Yeah, West Central Polk County, heads up, Evans. For those on Talk Group 1200 here, a tornado warning has just been issued for West Central Polk County and northeastern Hillsborough County until 11 p.m. At 10:23 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles southeast of Fishhawk, moving north at 25 miles per hour. Once again, a tornado warning is now in effect for West Central Polk County and northeastern Hillsborough County until 11 p.m. KD4ACG.
KD4ACG and all on frequency NB9X. Weather Service is asking for any new reports in the current tornado warning area. Several areas of rotation currently located or currently indicated in eastern Hillsborough. NB9X.
The BV half degree, Paul, I kind of agree with that. Bloomingdale, Fishhawk, Boyette, and then one way down there along 62 or whatever that is down there, east of Waimama.
Yeah, roger that. We're seeing that. I'm looking at the storm relative velocity, and that also tends to point it up. If you go to SRV 0.5 and look inside the actual warning box, you'll see some traits of it there. NB9X.
Yeah, I just went to 4 paint. Yeah, just as you said it, and I was looking right at it.
Evans, what's your name?
Go to Windows, or I'm sorry, Panels. Open it up. The fourth view, I didn't set it yet.
I was looking for something to pick for the fourth.
Guys, also keep your eyes on the vicinity of where Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco comes together up there in Trinity. There's a strong cell just inside Hillsborough County, but the storm relative velocity display is showing some pretty good reflection and echoes in that area as well. NB9X.
Yeah, that one is still trending my direction, Paul.
Just to give you a quick one, I'm running ZDR half a degree in my fourth window. So left to right, top to bottom, PR half, PV half, SRV half, and ZDR half.
Thanks, I just did the same.
At ZDR, you can see almost a wraparound on that cell.
Is he getting the significance from another source, or can I pull those up here?
Hey guys, Ruskin just put out a significant weather advisory for that stuff that we just talked about a moment ago in southern Pasco, northwest Hillsborough, and Pinellas.
Yeah, I've got analog going on the 6121. Yeah, that SRV, Evans, right at the Three Corners area, it almost looks like it is rotating.
Yeah, look at the trace marker, though. The trace, you got one trace marker going northeast, northeast, almost 015, and then you got a marker going south towards Wauchula. Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that it threw that marker up.
Yeah, that trace marker in the last couple of frames is trending to my east. The frames prior, it was, bullseye right over my, got a little cross where my house is, and it split that thing in half.
Know where your location is on the, if you can zoom right in on your house, right-click on the screen, and you can put place home here or remove home. You can actually place markers on it and do measurements and whatnot, but you can set your home on the map.
Yeah, I've already got that marked.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. KT4RJ monitoring. Hey, Steve. Good to hear you.
Hey, Evans. Good evening. Yeah, how's it looking for northwest Polk County here? I haven't been able to look at the radar.
Right now, we got a tornado marker right on top of us from Fishhawk to Lakeland Airport over to the Notasassa and back down towards Fishhawk.
Okay, Roger. So what radar are you looking at?
I've got a paid subscription to GR Level 3. You can find that at grlevelx.com.
Okay, thanks, Evans. I'm going to look that up now before we lose power. But I'll be listening. KT4RJ, thanks for what you guys are doing.
Guys, I don't know if you've got your meso markers turned on, but that warning box now in eastern Hillsborough is getting populated with meso markers. There's also some showing rotation out in the Gulf of Mexico, about 80 miles or so due west of Charlotte County, NB9X.
They just tagged a cell just north of 60, west of 39.
Yeah, they just put the 11 o'clock out on Nestor, still 60 miles per hour. The pressure is 996, and it's about 140 miles southwest of Panama City, NB9X.
Just FYI, I'm watching MLB chat also, and they're watching one that is right off of Palm Bay with rotation. Several people are perking their eyes up on that, heading for Rockler Edge, Seville Beach area. So now we got activity in the Atlantic coming in.
Yeah, that's possible for his area.
Guys, take a look inside the tornado warning box now. You not only have a meso marker, but you've also got a hail marker in there too. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
I haven't switched to the view to see the tops of these things. Where are they at?
And the thunder rolls. Go, Jason, go to derived and then select VIL. See where the majority of it is. But the two markers, the L2 and the Y0.
Yeah, I'm seeing a special marine warning now on the Atlantic coast at the Volusia-Brevard County line that just came up. And so he keeps on rambling.
I guess I need to go out and get my portable so I can listen in.
Trust me, you don't want to.
Evans, it looks like the south end of the warning box got chopped off a little bit.
Anybody know offhand when high tide is?
Say your question again.
Just wondering if you had high tide times handy.
I don't, but let me look them up.
Evans, you looking at SRV 0.5?
Say that again, Jason. I was on the other side getting my radio on the charger.
I wanted to see if you were still looking at SRV 0.5.
Not right this second. I noticed they did broaden it from Winston all the way over to Sonota Sassa. So let me switch back over on that.
All right, the little blue spot in West Pasco, surrounded by a sea of red, is about 5 miles due south of my location, perhaps less.
Copy that. I see it. I'm on it. Heading to the marker, heading towards Bayonet Point. Look at your ZDR on that. That's a bright yellow, almost pushing a 3.
Yeah, and it's coming right for me.
Hey guys, next high tide at Clearwater Beach is 2:14 a.m. NB9X.
Looks like they dropped the special marine.
It probably expired. NB9X.
Right, Evans, that cell has arrived at the station.
ESM, I'm back on frequency. I jumped over to PEM, chat with Norm over there real quick.
All right, Evans, I switched off the reflector. I'm on the Pasco repeater right now. Am I still good?
Copy. I still got you on Lakeland.
All right, thanks, just in case I lose power.
Keysville.
Yeah, somebody reporting flashes about a mile west of where he was. Stand by.
Hey, Paul, Jason, look at 60 roadway west of Willow Oak. That almost looks like a hook feature.
I was just checking this guy's address He's just west of the Strawberry Festival, right along I-4.
Copy that. That bright flash that other guy reported probably was a transformer blowing, and, you know, that could be for any number of reasons.
I've been hearing some pretty good thunder pulse. It could have been a Mother Nature hit too.
I got no thunder, but strong downpour.
Hey, Paul, look at the back side of that cell that's right over 60. I can't say it's going to be up there. It's going to be right there by the Skydive Airport, or the South Lakeland Grass Airstrip. Right over it. The colors are just... It's coincidental. I see a 70-knot marker right over that airfield.
I got a marker and a TVS marker that just popped up in that area right there.
Roger, it just popped on my screen as well. Yeah, the TVS marker just disappeared on my display, but guess what? It's right near Keysville.
Yeah, Evans, the ZDR, right in that same area. That thing's a rainbow.
Jason, in regards to the question you asked me about warning settings and whatnot, if you get a view and warnings, oh, there's a new tornado. Stand by.
Just got it. National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Pasco, northwestern Polk, and northeastern Hillsborough until 11:45. At 10:55 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Lakeland Linder Airport or near Plant City, moving north at 25 miles per hour. Repeating, a tornado warning is now in effect for southeastern Pasco, northwestern Polk, northeastern Hillsborough until 11:45. KD4 ACG.
Hey guys, if you take a look at the size of that warning box and where it's located, it's a natural progression from the previous one.
Yeah. Jason, for you, warning setting, get a view, warning settings. The warning server I'm using is warnings.cod.edu, the Colorado server.
Yeah, I'm set the same. Evans, you got the BV 0.5 up?
Yeah, it's going right towards Winston. I'm watching this movement. I got it looping right at the moment. And look how quick this thing is actually moving. I think it's a little bit more than 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, take a look at BV 0.5 at that cell that just went over me in Western Pasco. The last couple of frames, I saw little bits of green in a sea of red. I don't know if there's any significance to that or not.
That's very similar to the marker that we had down here in Seminole. In fact, if I didn't know better, I'd say this probably was the same cell.
As a matter of fact, it is.
Guys, did you copy that report on analog?
Got the location, but not the event.
Yeah, storm damage along State Highway 39, a couple of miles south of State Highway 60.
Did they state the extent of the damage?
Yeah, they just said debris. I've noticed that mesomarker and TVS is following that warning box, or is inside that warning box and following it right up the tracer that you'll see on SRV 05.
Yeah, looks like it's straddling the county line right now between Plant City and Lakeland.
Roger that. Yeah, headed right for the Amazon warehouse.
The rain just dissipated here at my house, and seems like there was nothing else along with it. South side of I-4, exactly midpoint between Branch Forbes and Sonoma-Sasta Road.
ACG FM.
Go ahead, Evans. EFM ACG.
Hey guys, Bay News 9's reporting a tornado on I-4 near Lakeland.
Look what I just posted in the chat, Paul.
It would seem that it is.
The hail marker offshore west of Sarasota, 3/4 inch.
It's really starting to come down up in Kathleen now, KT4RJ.
Yeah, keep a sharp eye up there. Something pretty severe heading your way.
Roger. Yeah, I'm looking at that
radar that Evans is using there, and right between, right on the line with the green and the yellow right now, but I see a spot of red headed this way too.
Yeah, and Kathleen, that thing's coming right at you.
Yeah, there's a very definite marker. It's crossing US 92 right now, and between 92 and I-4, right about the point where I-4 makes the turn off to the northeast.
So right by the Polk Parkway interchange.
My marker just went pink, which means tornado.
Roger, that's the same thing we had down here earlier.
Yeah, 1109, confirmed tornado located near the airport, moving north at 25, so there it is.
Even without the marker, that signature shows up clear as day on SRV 0.5.
Roger, base velocity 0.5 is showing a 67 knot wind.
Just what I-4 needs right now.
Yeah, who said Orlando had the ultimate I-4 construction project?
I like that one.
TBS marker just popped up there too.
Randy, CRC just reported there's a flood semi on I-4.
What kind of a semi?
Between County Line and Memorial Boulevard, there's a semi that has been flipped, which would be near the AutoZone Auto Parts Yard. Bunch of semis in that area, and apparently one of them has been tipped over according to fire.
Copy that, NB9X.
Company Swindell and Memorial are 2710. I-4. Google Maps is showing heavy traffic in the area of the Polk Parkway interchange, particularly westbound traffic. Slow to almost stop, and they haven't pumped any accident markers just yet. EFM, this is KB4FHB.
EFM, go.
It's going to be 2710, State Road 400, which will be Swindell.
Swindell Road, copy. Yeah, I heard it over on PEM.
KB4FHB.
Hey, thank you for jumping in here. Don't be afraid.
SR 400 is another name for I-4. That's the state's official name for it.
All right, Paul. Kathleen area is on the on the scope for this little sale. Get that. I guess go ahead and get that out on PEM or on NI4CE. Especially going up there through that heavily populated area of Lakeland Mall and whatnot, because that's right where it's heading for right now. Yeah, it's getting substantially heavier rainfall now up just north of Kathleen, KT4RJ. The radar just updated, so Providence is getting a good whack north of Duff Road. Yeah, Roger. The red is just to the right of my location. I mean, almost on the line with the yellow here. I see it headed up into Providence now. KT4RJ. Appreciate you jumping in here as well. Thank you.
Tell you what, these traffic cams that FDOT's got out there right now are useless. There's so much rain on them that you can't see anything. NB9X.
No.
Guys, it looks like this thing is going to head just east of Kathleen, between Kathleen and Gibsonia.
Their rotation stayed together for quite a while, at least since southeastern Hillsborough.
Well, it is sell off to my due east in Fussel's Corner.
I'm not seeing anything there yet. I think I have to wait for an update.
Doesn't look like too much wind, but I got the HR running, and there's like a 40 to 50 marker right due north of Fussell Corner, north of the Polk Parkway. CDR's got a big old purple spot right in that location I'm talking about. Look at the BR half degree. That's wrapping around in Kathleen. Providence, and that loops around it. It looks like a well-defined signature.
I've only seen that one time, and that was out west.
Yeah, and I'm right in the middle of it right now. KT4RJ, although the rain has settled down quite a bit.
Yeah, apparently Bay News 9 was watching the traffic cams, and you could slightly see what's coming across I-4. So at least we got visual reports going. And we're still continuing the warning till 11:45.
Pass goes out of it, but Polk stays in.
Yeah, what you had has gone up into Hernando County, and in the vicinity of Spring Lake, there's a cell up there, and I think it's the one that went through your area, Jason, that is looking not as healthy as the one out in Polk County, but it's looking healthy.
Yeah, they just modified the TOR. They took out southeastern Pasco from the warning, and they're leaving Polk County in until 11:45.
Yeah, we just lost power up in Kathleen, KT4RJ. We'll switch over to battery.
Copy that, NB9X. And guys, looking to the west, there is an area that is showing up on BB .05 with 70 knot winds. It's about 90 miles west-southwest of Tampa.
Yeah, that same system was generating a hail marker 3/4 inch a little while ago.
Yeah, there's a couple of other cells southeast of it that are showing wind speeds near 60 knots. So we still got some stuff to deal with tonight. NB9X.
Hey, Paul, just for your general knowledge and info, if you zoom in on Providence and you look at that yellow line skirting off to the west and then going north, there is a major mobile home park in that section. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to start hearing reports coming from Providence here in just a little bit. I don't have my 800 radio turned on, but I'd be poised and ready to start seeing these reports come in from that area if that tornado is still alive.
Copy that. NB9X.
This future, just for reference, y'all listening, that's Cypress Lakes community.
Evans, that area of rotation is starting to not look as impressive as it was, so we might finally start to see this, hopefully dissipating soon.
That's a pretty wooded area. It may have lost a lot of it's ripping. Looks like it's ripping itself apart, which I hope so. Cypress Lakes probably see some winds or trees. I would be surprised if we don't get reports of trees down north of Duff Road. I'd be really impressed. But that cell seems to be crossing the area where it goes from 4-lane to 2 on 98 North.
Just saw something in here from WX4RCF. Moderate-sized limbs in the road on Kathleen Road near Cypress Creek Road.
Cypress Creek Park. That's on the back side.
He's also reporting power flashes near Sleepy Hill Road and Kathleen Road. That would be a telltale marker of a twister going through the area and blowing up transformers.
Hey, Evans, what's the number within the TVS marker? What does that indicate?
That's an ID marker. The 4, I'm not sure. I've got to look that up.
Yeah, it had been a 9, and then a 5, and now a 4. So I'm wondering something to suggest intensity.
That's KT4RJ. Am I making it back in the repeater now?
Yeah. TPS icons. Icon sheet has 2 rows of 10 icons. Icons represent 10 digits of the low-level delta velocity, LLDV, in knots. For example, 19 indicates an LLDV was at least 190 knots. So that's a knot, apparently a knot signature.
Okay, and KT4, sorry, Mr. You are coming in.
Click on Help and then hit the online guide. Scroll down.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Paul, I just got contacted on Facebook from a guy on Duff Road. Said he, a few minutes ago, he experienced some severe, hardcore wind, and he is without power.
Copy that. NB9X.
Yeah, Evans, I'm right down at Duff and Kathleen, and ours just went off twice. Just came back on so far, but it may not next time. KT4RJ.
Well, they keep shrinking that warning area. It's definitely a lot more condensed than it was when it first came out more than 45 minutes ago. Hopefully this means that by 11:45, when this current one is scheduled to expire, that they'll just let it expire and not renew it.
I'm going to side with you on that one, Jason, because it's definitely losing its characteristic from what I'm seeing. That little hook echo is now east side of 98 in the wooded area, but there are homes and whatnot through that section going up the Rock Ridge Road.
Yeah, that hook was clear enough to see earlier without the marker to point it out. And I'm not seeing that definition like I was before.
Once it hooked, I think it just wrapped itself out. It squeezed so tight that that was it. It choked itself out because it just went elongated on this next update.
Yeah, but if you take a look at the reflectivity, either BR 1.5 or BR 248, there's still a fair amount of reflectivity there in that cell.
Yeah, Paul, I just went to 1.5. See what you're saying. Even 2.5. You know what? I'm going to look at the VIL on it. Yeah, it's blue. It's almost 20. Matter of fact, there's 2 spots of 20 in the VIL, so there's. It looks like it split itself apart when that loop closed up.
Roger that. Well, the next area of interest is still out in the Gulf. It's about 60 miles off let's see, where are we here? About 60 miles off of the Sarasota County coast, and lots of rotation in that cell.
Hopefully I can get some sleep before that starts threatening our area.
Tell you what, at the rate and direction that it's moving, I would bet you that will be here by 1 o'clock, and it may just brush Pinellas and flip up into Pasco. You may not be able to get a good night's sleep tonight, Jason.
I'm going to try. TOR has expired and not renewed. It's off the map.
Roger. NB9X.
And as you said it, NWS bot expired it. Right as you said it. Now clean most of this church. Damage. There we go.
Watching, Evans, you watching 13?
No.
A couple minutes ago, they had somebody on location, Parkway Exit 1, railroad crossing, just past the off-ramp out of a snapped crossing arm.
That's probably County Line resident.
Apparently, Paul Delgado is in the same NWS chat. He just referenced it on 13. It seems notable to me that there hasn't been a lot of lightning associated with the storm so far.
That's because the storm tops are not particularly tall, at least so far, and the storm is also fairly warm. Got to have ice and ice crystals to make lightning.
Yeah, true. I thought it was taller. Took the special marine warning dropped off the list too on the Gulf side. Atlantic still has Volusia Brevard for 1 a.m.
Also getting reports North Lakeland 98. There are some closures around the area.
Who's your power utility out there? Is it Lakeland Electric or do you have Duke or FP&L?
Lakeland Electric goes all the way up to 471 along that area, but Lakeland Electric has a couple of spots over the county line, imaginary line, but the majority of it's Lakeland Electric up through that area. Doug George just reported he has a lot of debris and damage around his neighborhood.
That cell that's out in over the Gulf of Mexico that I was referencing a moment ago has got 56,000 foot tops on it. If that cell I was just talking about that's out over the Gulf right now keeps going in the same direction, it's likely going to make landfall somewhere near Bradenton.
I'd be surprised, Paul, if that makes a more eastward move. I don't know. I got a funny feeling that it may jog east on you.
Well, we'll certainly be keeping a look on it. And off to the northwest of it, there's another cell that's got some potential to it as well. NB9X.
Whoa. We just had another one pop up. Hang on.
Yeah, Polk County from 1215. 12 miles east of Combie Settlement, or 13 miles northwest of Auburndale, moving north at 25. So 12:15 a.m.
I said something about stuff jogging east. That's the same frickin' cell, Paul. I'm replaying it, and it went north, and then it jumped completely over towards Polk City and reignited.
Fascinating.
Lit. The west side went towards Pasco and fizzled. The east side kept going.
That was that split I just talked about where it wrapped itself up, and yeah, absolutely. Run your loop. You'll see it split.
Yeah, remember on base reflectivity, I told you that it looked like the thing hadn't died yet completely, and it hadn't.
Yeah, watch that loop, Paul. I started to question why they expired it, but I wasn't going to post that over on chat and get blasted for it.
Hey, Evans, check out 13. Polk Parkway at 92. Some pretty substantial power poles have snapped. It's pretty significant.
Can you tell if they're wood or steel, or are they high voltage, or are they regular run-of-the-mill 14K?
Can't tell the material, but what I can tell you is these things were pretty well loaded on top, so they were carrying a lot of utility, more than your average 3 or 4 wires on a pole.
That's going to be a main thoroughfare power for Publix and all the warehouses, including Amazon. So yeah, that's not going to be your run-of-the-mill. Those are going to be medium to high-duty transmission lines servicing the county line corridor. My brain wires just crisscrossed. Did you already announce the tornado warning on NI4CE?
Sure did.
We're having too much fun as hams, aren't we?
We haven't had a whole lot of practice doing this year, so, we got to have it when we can have it.
Like, go north, up by Montverde. Go north up towards Montverde. I'm willing to bet that cell's going up there and it's going to merge with that cell around Ocoee and Mount Verde and create a little havoc up around Traveries. I'd hate for it to, but I stinking suspicion. Oh, and the other thing, the cell that was approaching Brevard County that was almost going to come in, that had rotation out in the Atlantic, it shifted east also in the loop.
I'll tell you, one of the things I was noticing all day on the satellite loop was that the convection, which was already to the east of the center, seemed to be going a lot further east than anybody was giving it credit for. I'll tell you what, I'm taking a little closer look at this cell that's right off Cocoa Beach, and I wouldn't be too surprised if there isn't some rotation. Well, guess what? A rotation marker just popped up there. There may very well be a tornado in that as well. NB9X.
That's what I was just talking about, right there off of Satellite Beach. But watch it come west and then get a push to the east. If you watch that loop, it just gets thrown right out east. The same time when the when the North Lakeland split, Now, I had 2 cells with weak rotation outlets that we're watching now just to the west and south of southern Lake County. The VR nor the brief signatures are robust enough to where we would warn Lake County, but they're continuing to watch, and also they're seeing tightening with a couplet over Lake Apopka. All right, I better back up. I'm getting too spooked for this.
Yeah, and zoom out, if you will. Take a look at the marine warning box that Ruskin just posted. This thing is a monster box, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that's about to flow right into it.
I better go fill up my sugar-free grape juice. Looks like you and I might be tag teaming here.
Yeah, this warning box is good until 1 a.m., and that would put it here in my neighborhood probably about 1:30. NB9X.
Well, TGIF. Nope, that's over. This one's going to make a big comes through.
Sorry, Evans, I had already started keying up on analog and doing a little update there when you keyed up the last time.
Paul 13's rolling through that mobile home park in Seminole right now.
Roger, how bad does it look?
Lots of trees on the roads, minor damage to some of the mobile homes, but it does not appear to be widespread damage.
Yeah, that's right down there just to the east of the new Seminole Town Center. We may have dodged a bullet. There is also a huge assisted living facility right to the east of that as well.
That one appears to be moving a little bit quicker, Paul, because it's already up to Ava.
Did you just see what Christine posted on PBW chat? Major debris on Campbell Road between Kathleen and Lewis. Avoid the area.
Bless her heart, she's okay, she's good, but she was typing this she was hearing, and fingers went before the brain. I was saying that her report wants me to put a frying pan to the forehead, not just not a face palm, frying pan palm. Tornado occurred, Paul.
Roger.
I looked at the LSR for Kathleen Amateur Radio, give credit for it. Jason, have you had a chance to go over the online help page? No, I haven't yet. I'll wait till this passes and look through it. All right, take a look while you can. Take a little breather. It's nothing fancy, but just for quick reading purposes, you can see what all it shows you about the status bar and this and that. Thanks, I'll check it out. That's moving along at a pretty good clip, Paul. That cell that's just, both of those cells, they're just now encroaching the special marine box.
Yes, it is. Well, when you think also about the overall speed that the tropical storm is moving, 22 miles per hour, it's like, hey, I got to get out of the Gulf. It's too warm here.
I agree.
Those cells aren't losing a lot of energy either. I just brought up the base velocity 0.5, and one of those cells is showing a peak wind of 63 knots. Granted, it's at 10,000 feet, but hey, that's nothing to sneeze at.
That Polk County cell that went east is starting to merge in with the cell north to the east of Webster. Looks like that energy is catching into two cells. So I'd be surprised Marion County doesn't get lit up here in a little bit. But weather advisory for Seminole, Lake Orange, and South Central Volusia until 1 a.m. just got pushed.
You realize we got so much stuff going on when the tropical storm advisory was issued at 11, we never got to it. Oh well, NB9X.
Hey Paul, it's out west over yonder. over yonder through the waves and over the ocean. Hey, Greg, I was wondering when you're going to pop up over here.
Missed me, thank goodness, but to the west of me, it went right up from Malafia to Cypress Lakes, I guess.
Yes, sir, it sure did. Evans, I don't think he's on 1200. No. He's on local.
Sorry about that. My bad. Got turned dial. K4CBN 1200.
There you go, Greg. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay there.
Well, when we lived out in Kathleen, we did get hit with tornadoes back in the 70s. Tore up the barn and took the roof off, and it was kind of funny in the end because the neighbor said, hey, George, did you lose something? And it was laying across his pool. So we're out of the tornado watch for a while, and then I guess another surge of energy is coming by in the morning around 5 o'clock.
Copy that. Jason, Paul, NWS Melbourne just posted a link of the tractor trailer down at 557. I'm sorry, west, mile marker 26.7, eastbound Polk, near the Polk Parkway with the semi that got flipped. Yeah, they had a news crew out showing it, blocking at least 2 lanes of I-4. From the looks of it, they're riding the emergency lane shoulder.
Some of the public service traffic says the trailer may have been empty, and that's why it got tipped by the tornado.
I think with enough intensity, it would have even taken a fully loaded trailer.
Those ice road trucker guys wouldn't have any problem. They know what to do.
I'm going to try to get some rest until the next goes up. I'll talk to you later on. KD4ECG.
Roger, Evans. Evans. Jason, sorry about that. By the way, real happy with the way that the repeater system in NX Core is working tonight. NB9X.
If we could just get it like Sergeant, well, no. I digress that statement. I was going to say Sergeant, but I like what we got. It works. I'd like a few more to be on here, but I'm very pleased with the NXDN ham radio network so far.
Yeah, we definitely need some more people to invest in NXDN gear. The world does not revolve around DMR. I'm sorry. NB9X.
I second that one. The problem is it's the Belfang effect. You can get a cheap radio on DMR, and none of the other modes have radios at the same low price point. Yeah, I don't want a Belfang NXDN radio. No, thank you. I'll start pulling plugs if that pops up. I will march into the closest FCC office and hand them my license.
K4CBN in the group. There we go. I'm in the right talk group. Yeah, there's some kind of legislation, the government on some of those Oshang radios that they're not FCC compliant.
The FCC put a cease and desist order out and an enforcement order out about a year ago on a number of Baofeng models because they don't meet any specification. And that's just one manufacturer.
You're exactly right, Paul. That's for sure. They allow a lot of them to come in, and they need to track them down. And because I guess I don't know the full reason, but they usually don't do that with the big brands.
Well, I think it happens because they're afraid of the Chinese. I mean, look at the NBA this last week.
It is, yeah, exactly. Well, it's good. There is quite a few people getting into the NXDN, and but prices have shot up all across the board.
Well, unfortunately, the price of a digital radio, no matter whose digital radio it is going to be more expensive than an analog simply because you've got a vocoder in it, and VLSI is the one that controls the pricing on that. But on the other hand, ICOM I know has some fairly reasonably priced portables out there that are, street price under $400. And it's good quality stuff that holds up.
K4CBN, that's exactly true. I seem to notice there's a lot more VHF equipment becoming available on that market, but even that price is starting to ease up on the portables.
No, I'm talking about brand new radios, complete with a 2-year factory warranty and what have you. The problem that NXDN has is that it is a land mobile radio product by a backroom agreement between ICOM and Kenwood, and it's not available from ham radio stores, so ham radio operators don't know about it because they think that you've got to have a ham radio in order to operate on Part 97 frequencies. Well, you don't, and my conversation right now is being done on a Part 90 radio, NB9X. All I got of that last transmission was the word radios. Not sure who said that or what preceded it.
Greg and I both doubled. But what I was saying, Paul, is I operate nothing but Part 90 radios.
My bad. K4CBN, QRT.
See you, Greg. Have a good evening. K4FM, we'll be listening.
Have a good one, Greg. NB9X.
Just caught the Bay News 9 photo of that tractor trailer. It looks like the whole highway has been blocked so they can get heavy equipment in there, all lanes.
Paul, I'm going to try to send you a Facebook picture. There's photos popping up from Tom Evans for the power poles on 92. I'm looking at one of them. He's not very close to it, but those are metal poles that have been literally bent over and snapped. I know that area.
Yeah, well, if they were carrying high voltage, they would be metal monopoles, and tornado definitely had to do that.
Yeah, I just tagged you on one of the photos.
Roger that, NB9X.
12:30, and the storms have just crossed the barrier on the east side of the box.
Roger that. I'm looking at satellite IR right now, and quite honestly, we're the ones that have got all of the action here. You take a look up towards the Panhandle, there's virtually nothing by comparison. We've got all the stuff here.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Mike's weather page this morning and Tropical Tidbits last night, and I tell you, they were spot on saying that all the brouhaha of this little storm is going to be well east and striking the peninsula, where the actual low itself is going for the Panhandle. All thanks to the upper level shear, and by golly, that's what that shear's done. Is it's rifted all over this way, even though the low's over by Pensacola and the Louisiana Bayou.
Roger. And while you were speaking there, I have got quite a loud rumble of thunder just to the west of me here from another line of cells that is just to the west of Pinellas County.
Yeah, that fascinates me, Paul. Just in a weather aspect, lightning striking water and you still hear thunder.
Water's got nothing to do with it. What causes thunder is the collision of the air masses that were separated by the vaporization of the air through which the lightning bolt traveled. That lightning bolt is essentially creating a vacuum, and then the two air masses around the lightning bolt collide. That's what causes thunder.
Copy that. Paul, just got this from M4KEG, Kathleen Middle School. Kathleen Middle School, half of its roof is gone.
K4CBN, as I'm watching Bay News 9, they think there's a car underneath that truck.
Bigger ouch.
And Evan, I know Banana Road and Kathleen has got power lines down with a giant tree. Somebody just, I guess you guys can send pictures with your smartphones and it gets on the media.
Well, the good news is, as I'm watching this satellite loop on the IR channel, that at least half of the worst convection is already gone through here. We still have a half to go, so stand by. Third quarter's about to begin. NB9X.
K4CPN. Now, our PEM system that the Skywarn and Aries use, one of the fellows nonstop for 2 hours, and he finally, one of the other members gave him a break so he could walk his puppies and stuff. So it worked very well. Spotters and people called in a very timely manner and very organized.
Good, glad to hear that.
I did not hear a lot on the SARnet. I hear occasional, but not as much as, on our systems.
Well, that may be because SARnet is basically at least in this part of the state, I think a north-south up and down I-75 and I-95. There's not a lot going on I-4.
And I did notice a posting on Radio Reference that they were going to, the state was not going to maintain the microwave, and I didn't know if that they had switched over to fiber optic, for all the tower sites that the state occupies, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, I don't know that they were switching to fiber optic. The last time I had a conversation with the main guy that handles all of that, he was planning a brand new digital microwave system.
K4CPN. Yeah, this was just a reprint on Radio Reference from a meeting that they had with the state officials, and officials announced that they were not going to maintain, the backbone for the hams.
Well, there's some things in flux up there in Tallahassee at the moment, and the guy who has shepherded SARnet from day one, I know was on the drop program.
Good old Randy.
Well, based on what I'm seeing here on the satellite IR loop, the colder cloud tops are still just to our south, and that may go streaming across Sarasota, Manatee County, but this thing is definitely moving fairly rapidly, and hopefully by sunrise in the morning, we'll be out of it.
Yeah, so we've got more rotational activity coming in. Okay, yeah, I see it here. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think we're going to have one more round out of this, and then maybe we can call it a night. NB9X.
K4CPN.
Latest photo shows the truck has been uprighted now.
Copy that. Of course, getting it out of there then becomes another problem.
Let's put it this way, steps is all over it.
If you take a look at base reflectivity, 248 on your radar, the western edge of the precip matches very closely to what I was seeing on the satellite loop that I was looking at a little while ago. So once we get this next line through here, that looks like that'll be about it.
Wow. Thank goodness.
Well, you certainly couldn't accuse Tropical Storm Nestor of being symmetrical. It was anything but.
That's interesting. Rain warning just popped up, and then another one way down there by Fort Myers, north of Key West, just popped up too.
Yeah, and it looks like Ruskin just issued a new warning box out in the Gulf as well. There's the double up there. NB9X.
NB9X, KD4 FM.
NB9X, go ahead.
I zoomed in on the DR5 half a degree and ran the loop. You notice it seems like the tops of these storms are being blown by winds out of the south. while it's still moving eastward. Do you see that little anomaly going on there? It's like upper level winds are moving everything northward and regenerating, but yet it's still sliding east.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that at all. I will say that the tops on most of these storms seems to have been blown off. They're no longer, as threatening as they were when they were 50 miles west of where they are right now. Having said that, we've seen storms dip down and then regenerate all night. So, it ain't over until the fat lady sings.
It's going to be interesting to see if this energy rolls off from the top down. That shelf cloud effect or anomaly that I've seen once in a while, where you get all that stored up energy going up, it advances out in front and then falls straight to the earth like straight line winds in a vertical environment.
Roger that. I noticed that set of cells that's up to the north of Orlando seems to be spinning up again, the ones that were up near Tavares earlier. And but the storms that are out here over the Gulf seem to have weakened up a little bit, and that's not a bad thing.
Now watching that one way off to the west that's still outside the box, that one seems to be growing a little bit. Won't say intensity, but it's kind of getting its act together. I think that marker's Bravo 9, that one I'm watching, showing height 14,000 feet, but got a 48.5 DBZ reading on that. We'll see.
Yeah, I got a call from on analog Dynamics.
Yeah, Paul, Spectrum Bay News 9 has on their site now the pictures of the vehicle that was under the nose of the tractor trailer that rolled. And good to say, didn't crush the vehicle, just put a pretty nice sizable dent on the hood.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it right now. Ew, nasty. And they're also saying it's left about 10,000 without power out in the Lakeland area. So that's quite a few people as well. Yeah, nasty storm. Just hope nobody was seriously injured out of it.
Mount Tabor Baptist Church off Kathleen Road received major damage. House next door to the church completely destroyed. That's going to be interesting.
Was it the pastor's house?
Doesn't say. Just caught this 2 minutes ago off of another Facebook group I monitor. Paul, we got TVS out in the water just off of St. Pete.
Yeah, I was just going to call you about that. It's actually off of Anna Maria Island, but not sure if that's going to hit Pinellas County or if it's going to come on shore in Manatee.
I don't know. Those markers are every which way but loose like a spaghetti model. Bears watching this one. I'm looking at the SRV half degree. It's looking like it's trying to get a little band around it.
Paul, are you getting any inclement weather at your location at the moment? KG4RJ.
Oh, we're getting some rain here, but, nothing that was anything like we had earlier. So far from this storm, we've had almost 2.5 inches of rain, which, based on what I'm looking at here on APRS, I guess we were the big rain collector.
Wow, yeah, it sounds that way for sure. I know that my front yard is pretty much, goes down pretty quick, but it was pretty much underwater there. So for some reason, all of a sudden, I stopped hearing the Lakeland repeater on my base station here. I don't know if something happened between here and the repeater or what. So I ended up, after the internet came back, I ended up firing my hotspot up, and that's what I'm on now. So I guess either way, as long as I can listen and communicate if necessary, And I noticed on the news there, you know, less than a mile down the road here, Kathleen Middle School got the roof ripped off of it. Back to you, KT4RJ.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I've seen a couple of pictures of the Kathleen Middle School damage, and I don't know if Evans is aware of what may or may not be going on with the repeater, but it's also possible that it could be because of power failure. KD4EFM NB9X. Evans, you aware of anything going on with the repeater?
Which repeater? Mine? I know it's got low power out. I don't have full scale at my house. And I'll have N4CE check on that tomorrow.
Hey, Roger. Yeah, it may be dialed down just enough that Steve can't get into it.
Right after that power outage, I got everything back online, and then I couldn't hear the repeater anymore. I could see activity, but I wasn't getting any audio. It was like it was right at the point where it wanted to open up and let me hear you, but it wouldn't quite do it. So I ended up jumping over on my hotspot, KT4RJ.
Yeah, Steve, if something's going on with the repeater, I'll have to get Richard to take a look at it. Because normally it's full scale at my house, and I'm on a mobile up 35 feet, and I only have one bar.
Okay, well, on a good day, that's all I get. So any deviation from what it normally operates at, it kind of puts a bind on me, because I can, it's just my location up here on the north side of, north of Kathleen. So I need every little bit of help I can get. And of course, the trees are all wet, and I'm trying to get my signal through the trees, and I'm working on getting me a little power up, so hopefully that'll help. But got a 800, NX800 is what I've been using mobile, and then I got a 300 for an HT. I'm happy with them. And I appreciate you, passing some information along to me there when I asked. KT4RJ.
84 FM testing.
Yeah, I got you there. Evans, KT4RJ.
I put my NX800 into maintenance mode so I could get a dB reading on the repeater. I got neg 110. So there's definitely an issue. It's probably right. PA. It's probably just RF bleeding going out the PA, and the PA power supply is offline. So we'll get that resolved.
Okay, Evans. Yeah, copy that. All right. Yeah. Well, at least with my hotspot, I can get in as long as I have internet, which I prefer to go the other route, but I don't like depending on the internet. But we'll be here monitoring. I'll let you get back at it. I've been looking at this. I downloaded the weather radar program that you said you were using, and I've been trying to familiarize myself with that a little bit. So I'll be here monitoring, though. Thank you. KT4RJ.
Copy that, Steve. Have a good morning. KT4EFM, we'll be listening.
I just took a look here at the latest meso discussion, and they're saying that the probability of a watch is 95%. If they're going to issue a watch, they better get it out pretty quickly. Otherwise, the storm's already going to be gone through.
Hear that. Paul, I'm going to back off for just a moment. I may have a coaxial issue here. So I'm going to further investigate, but I'll be monitoring.
Okay, roger that. And B9X.
Yeah, Paul, my handheld's reading a better signal than my mobile is, so I got a coax issue.
That's not good. And, reading the rest of the meso discussion, looks like we'll have a tornado watch coming soon.
Paul, is there any way to filter out some of that stuff that pops off out in the Atlantic? Well, the warnings, the storm warnings that come up.
Well, if you take a look at the right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice that you've got several check boxes there. You've got one for marine, one for flash flood, one for thunderstorm, one for tornado. If you don't want to see, for example, the marine and the flash flood, you just want thunderstorms and tornadoes, then uncheck those boxes. Same thing with some of the other markers like hail, mesocycle, the TVS. I would recommend you not uncheck those though, because those are critical.
Right, okay, yeah, I did have, there's one for like snowfall or something, but, yeah, I unchecked that one, and the one next to it, SMW, and FFW, but I still have SVR, which I believe is severe, thunderstorm, tornado reported, and tornado emergency. It's just when I click on the latest, where the storm attributes box is, I clicked on the latest one, and it showed me one over there off of the Atlantic side there. I didn't know if there's a way to filter any of that out. It doesn't bother me. I just, I'm trying to learn the program here, KT4RJ. Okay, I feel much better now. I got neg 82. 84 FM.
Yeah, that sounds a whole lot better. NB9X.
Yeah, but you got to show me how to get that dB reading on the radio. I know how to get it in the mode, but I haven't messed with it. You can put it in the menu, or you can set a hotkey, but the name that you want to set the key or menu item is called maintenance mode. You just put it in maintenance mode, and it'll give you the RSSI. Icons are able to do that too, I think, on the newer models. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to do it here in a few minutes because there's some other changes that I want to make too, but I appreciate that. KT4RJ, we're listening.
Evans, I haven't heard any reports of coastal flooding or storm surge flooding, but if we're going to get it, it'll be now with this push of these thunderstorms. High tide is coming up here in about less than a half hour at Clearwater Beach. So as these things come on shore, it may push enough water in to do some coastal flooding. NB9X.
Yeah, guys, just saw the information pop up from NWS Spot. Tropical storm warning, storm surge warning, and storm surge warning for Citrus, Hernando, Pasco, Pinellas until further notice. So, yeah, right on up around the Big Bend. Here we go.
What's also rather interesting is if you take a look at the lineup of the storms that are within the special marine warning box, those storms are basically going northwest, southeast, and then look to the west, and you've got a line that's going northeast, southwest. That would be indicative of some rotation as well.
And poof, there it is, till 16-hour UTC. Tornado watch number 675 in effect until noon Saturday, basically for the next 11 hours. Hey, Paul.
Yo.
I know you're focused on the one approaching you, but zoom out on TVW, but go look at Daytona Beach area. That is almost not quite stationary. I mean, you see the movement, but not as fast as what's coming in from the Gulf.
Yeah, interesting. Also, I think of a lot more markers over there in that cluster than there is to the west of us.
I'm going to go out on a limb on this one, Paul. I would not be surprised if we get an Atlantic low pop up off of Daytona Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, ahead of Nestor, whatever it's called.
Well, that's been one of the fears and one of the anomalies with this thing all along, because this was coming up on a trough that was coming down from the north. There was some indication that this would be an elongated low, and lows would pop up along the frontal boundary, and that would be that. This did finally get its act together, but that's why it took so long for them to declare this a tropical storm. It had all the other characteristics, but it didn't have the right geometrics. It was an elongated low.
You know how
how we always talk about eye wall replacements and how the eye moves when it goes through that eye wall replacement cycle. Yeah, this is definitely one for the weather books that you rarely see, and we get to see it this year, where you have what triggers the low in one spot, and it just morphs into another area like a time machine. Well, I can't call it a time machine, but it definitely plays hopscotch, dances on Florida, and then poof, shows up in another square, like hopscotch.
Yeah, no doubt this was a hybrid storm. This was not your typical tropical cyclone. And I suppose the people up in San Jose City are very grateful for that, because the tropical cyclone they had last year at this time was absolutely devastating. Alrighty, this storm is getting very close to me here, and I'm going to start putting some notice out to it on the analog side. NB9X.
All right, Paul, be modern. Hey, Paul, watch that W9. I'm looking at the SRV on it right now. Not really seeing anything totally significant, but I got a hunch there's something hiding in there.
Yeah, roger that. Hey, did you see that TVS that just popped up west of Sarasota?
Yep, I've been watching that one. And that's the exact same one that was about 15 miles to the south of where it just popped up. So it's cut towards you, Paul. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what, a 5 on there? Look at the base of it. Base is 27, but the top is 11.9.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Looks like the max shear is 24.
On your SRV half degree, look north of that marker, in between the two lines. Watch that spot. I bet you that's where they're going to put it in just a few minutes. Directly west of Egmont Key. The SRV just updated, and that banding's getting a little tight around there. It's moved closer to the northern marker.
Yeah, did you also notice how this line has an overall bow as well? And it's just about that max point where you see the TVS.
Yeah, if I laid the line out on this one, that marker should change. I think IRB is going to be the gun sight for this one. I hope it's short-lived, but I got a funny feeling that ridge, if you look at the SRV all the way up, IRB's definitely going to get some squally winds. NI4CE Network, Freddie.
NB9X, we're keeping an eye on it. Right now we've got winds of 5, gusts to 11. KD4 EFM NB9X.
Go ahead, Paul.
If you look just down from W9's marker, you're going to see a formation here in the SRV .5, where it almost looks like there's a divot in the wind field. It's higher winds surrounded by something that almost looks like there's a hole in the whole thing. Keeping my eye on that.
I'm seeing two things. On top of that, Paul, I'm seeing what appears to be low-level winds coming in from the west and upper-level winds going north or coming out of the south. I've been playing this loop back and forth for the last 5 minutes, watching this little phenomena, the western edge. It's almost like a reverse shelf cloud formation.
Classic rotation.
You got the latest up. Let's see, it's fixing to update on me right now. All right, so due west of Bradenton Beach, there's a little hole there, and then about almost 290 degrees, and about 5 to 10 miles northwest of that is another spot.
I've been watching those two. It's really, yeah. Talk about a cell that just won't go away. That one hanging off the Cape over by Melbourne, it just won't go away. It's hanging there. You're on analog.
I was going to say, take a look at your SRV 0.5 and take a look at that area just to the east of the Skyway out over the water of Tampa Bay.
And Paul, it looks like the northern end of it, as it approaches Clearwater, it's losing its oomph. Ambiguous to some mid or upper level shear that's patting it down. I wonder if it's hitting cooler water there or just coastal interaction.
I don't know, but it doesn't seem to have the veracity that the earlier line of storms had. I've got the heavier rain that has come on shore, and I have seen my rainfall pick up a little bit here at the house.
I'd love to. I'm going to go on Mike's on SpaghettiModels.com, see if I can't find that upper level wind monitor, or at least that satellite view that shows winds. It's just something's not. There's got to be 2, maybe 3 levels of wind going on here, because it's just pulling it apart, but pushing it east as the clouds and everything go north. It's scratching. I'm scratching my head on this one. I'm fascinated by it. At the same time, I'm scratching my head going, why is it doing that?
I don't know, it could be my imagination, but it seems like this line is really starting to fray.
Yeah, I'm seeing that going on down south too, from Charlotte to Lee County. As it's getting close to the coastline, it's kind of unraveling, even though there's 2 markers down there with rotation. They're not lasting very long, Paul. You get a significant weather advisory out of it. Golly gosh darn.
I've seen an uptick in the rainfall here in the last 15 minutes or so as this line has come on shore, but my winds are 5 miles per hour, gusting to 9. It's not looking that good. NB9X.
Yeah. You had a chance to look at the cloud tops?
Look at what?
But if you got 4 windows, if you got a 4-panel open, take one of your panels and go look at your echo tops. Let it update. Not impressed. Hey, no white, hardly any reds except one trying off of Venice, and then the cells just now coming into the watch area due west. But I'm not impressed. 30s and 40s, 1,000-foot tops. Nah. The second line, it has no kicky poo at all.
Yeah, there are a couple of cells. One, as you said, down near Venice, that's got a 49-foot top, and another cell south of that that's off of Fort Myers that is looks like it's 53, maybe 55 as you move it around. But the rest of this stuff just, it's falling apart. And the stuff that is at the very far western edge, that's even become mediocre. That's in the low 40s.
Yeah, that Hotel 8 that you were just talking about, I think what we're seeing on the SRV at 5 degrees, I think that's nothing more than outburst from the heavy rainfall. I think that's just a little outburst. I'm not seeing any typical sign that you would see of rotation on that. That's just outflow.
Well, look at your VIL as well. The only one that has any impressive look to it is Hotel 8. The rest of them is kind of milk of magnesia, teeny bopper news.
Well, we'll see if that one holds. We'll put a penny on Hotel 8 and see if Hotel 8 can keep the lights on.
And right now, if Hotel 8 does maintain itself, it looks like it'll come on shore either in western Charlotte or far southwestern Sarasota County, NB9X.
Q8's got a little nice feature to it. Not going to hold my breath for that one, but just slightly below due west of Venice, but that's got some outflow features on it. I am curious about the little block west of Osprey. Looking at the BV 5 degree, half a degree BV, just west of Osprey. I would imagine that might be a micro water spout. I mean, it's round enough to do that.
Maybe, but if you compare the Bravo Victor with the Sierra Romeo Victor, it just, they really don't match.
It's pushing 40 knot on the SRV. I'm keeping my eye on that one. That Q8 marker. I think that Q8 may be that spot that jumped ahead of where it's been played. But if you look at the BR 5 degree, it's right in that nook and cranny. I want to see where it goes with the next update as soon as it hits. The IL just popped up a blue spot on it. It went from 10 to 20 to 30.
The Hotel 8, though, is still the only one that I'm seeing here that is impressive at all, and it's not that impressive.
It's trying to get that 30, but yeah, you're right. No impression there. I'm still watching I'm still waiting to see what this one off of Osprey's going to do. Rain bands are looping around it.
Yeah, I will say this: the rainfall has picked up here. I've just eclipsed 3 inches of rain for the event.
That may be it for you, Paul. That big blob's now Pinellas Park's issue.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what S-band would look like peering out into the Gulf with this. I wish there was a way we could get News Channel 8's S-band on here.
Yeah, I think this cell that's going through my area right now, yeah, I don't think it's going to be the last one. I think Gulf 5 may hang together enough that I may get the southern end of that. Then after that, not much.
Now, is News Channel 8's S-band out there at the Best God help me. The Riverview Antenna Farm, is that where they got their new S-band?
I'm not sure where they've got it. I know that 10 has got their radar out there in the Riverview area. 13, of course, has got theirs there on Kennedy Boulevard. I'm not sure where 8 has theirs.
On their website right now, if I had to guess based on what's not being shown, it's on Boyette Road. And of the 3 towers I know of, one of them is Channel 8. So I'm curious if they did stick their S-band out there at Boyette.
Well, 8 shares a tower with FTS and Channel 50. And that's the northernmost one with the candelabra on the top. The ATC tower, which is down on Rodine Road, is the other one with the candelabra. And that's also the one where we've got the 2 Riverview repeaters, NB9X.
Copy. Yeah, at least the radar, the imagery that they're putting on their website is coming off of Boyette. It's got to be out there off of one of those sites.
Whiskey 9 that just went over your house has come into the bay and picked up a little bit. Not much, but VIL increased a little bit as it went over the bay, so McDill's probably going to get a good drenching. Tell you what, though, Paul, what I'm really impressed about is that one that's been hanging over I-4 between Sanford and Daytona. That has just been hanging on for dear life up there, those poor fellas. So at 114 nautical miles at 3840 degrees, it's pushing a strong 30. I wish it would tell me how high. I can't see that, but that cell right over Daytona is definitely giving them a good lashing.
Yeah, the stuff over on the East Coast right now is a lot more impressive than the stuff that we've got here on the West Coast.
No kidding. Yeah, it's that third line coming into the box. It's breaking apart. I think it's just going to be nothing more than a wet Saturday morning.
And you know what? That's okay, because quite honestly, we had all our excitement earlier.
Yeah, I think Max Defender is on one of the tower plots to the south, because it's looking due north through the ATC tower. At least that's the shadow effect I'm seeing in the radar. Just like Channel 13, when the beam goes through downtown Tampa, it shadows over the southern part of Polk County, due east. There's a shadow effect on Channel 8 going up through the villages.
You ever taken a look at the radar on Long Island, the National Weather Service radar that services New York City?
No. Is that one just as bad with shadowing?
Well, the radar is located out at Brookhaven National Lab, and if you've got a decent rain event or a snow event in the wintertime, there is a null that overshadows or falls over Westchester County to the north of New York City. That null is created by the stack at Brookhaven National Labs. Rather tall stack out there, maybe 300 feet high.
Yeah, radar is a pretty neat thing. As a ham, Paul, I've always been intrigued with gigahertz. Basically low band to microwave. HF is like a wahoo. Been there, done that. I've rode the bike, got the seat to prove, got the seat. But I've always been intrigued with SHF and all the millimeter wave, all that stuff.
Tell you what, this band that is running from roughly Englewood up to just south of Sarasota is beginning to start looking a bit impressive. It is holding together, and it's coming together as a line.
From Venice northward?
Yeah, it runs roughly from Englewood up to just south of Sarasota.
I wonder what's bumping that 40-knot wind in the center of that off of Englewood.
Well, if you take a look at the Sierra Romeo Victor .5, you'll notice that to the north end of that, we're starting to see some reds.
Can you take a look at the echo tips off of Venice?
Yeah, the one that's down near Englewood is, it's a bit impressive, but it's still under 50,000. The one that's closer to Venice is about 45,000. And the ones that are out west in the final line, they're still under 50.
I don't know. There's a 60 sitting right there on the very extreme edge. Radar just barely getting it. I'm looking at Key West to see if I can't hit it. No. Yeah. Go to Key West and take a look at that same spot. It's still showing a 50,000 echo top. Just barely pushing. I wouldn't go above 55, but it's at 50 down there.
Yeah, I'm seeing 53 on the southernmost one. The one that's just to the northeast of it, 47.
Now, on the Key West with the Echo Top, go look at Minnesota Key. That's ringing almost 60. There's a Grove City, Minnesota Key. There's a nice high top right there. I wouldn't mind seeing a sat image on that one. There's our TVS. I was just waiting for it to pop up right in that little area. And there's your Sarasota tornado warning, Paul.
Yep, I've got it. Going out on analog, MB9X.
Yeah, what's funny, Paul, is I'm sitting here watching that one spot, and I'm like, why isn't there a marker on this one yet? But yeah, it just barely has the cloud top for it, but it just too characteristic for it. But what's got me going is why they're going for Venice inland, why they've boxed it, Nokomis, South Venice, all that area, and yet you look at the leading trail, it almost looks like it's not even going to come on shore. I think this waterspout's going to, if anything, it's a waterspout, and it's going to hang out over water. I'd be really impressed to see if it even comes close to Venice.
Yeah, I just saw one of the vets down at Ruskin post some commentary on this.
Brian's comment?
Yep.
I'm kind of in line with his second statement with another tightening of it coming up. But coming on shore, I'm surprised they sent the watch clear over to Northport. I'm a little surprised about that. I would have boxed that. I would have boxed it up a little bit more up 75 and closed the gap on it. But I guess they got their parameters for that for whatever reason.
I don't know. Maybe it's a malfunction with my GR level 3, but I'm not seeing a tornado box on my screen at all. I've got the warning, and I've got it up on the list, but I'm not seeing the box.
What warning server are you using? You just went to analog. Go to view, and then warning settings.
I'm using warnings.cod.edu.
Might have to do a restart, Paul, because it popped up 15 seconds after NWS spot posted. Wait, that's the warning server I'm on also. The other thing that you can do where you got your right underneath file and view, click on stop polling and then click on start polling. See if that can kick it up to most recent.
Yeah, I've got it now, and I see where it is, and there's a TVS just to the southwest end of it.
Yeah, cloud tops over Inglewood has jumped up at one building right there, but it just doesn't coincide with the rainfall on the BR, but I'm running 1.5 BR.
Now, the cloud top on the south end of that warning box is now up to 54K.
Makes me wonder if that marker's in the right spot, Paul. And it's showing, right now, it's marked as a 4. Nope, just got an update. It actually went into the box this time on BV 1.5, 1.5 degrees BV, Bravo Victor. That particular cell is now on the leading edge, but the winds are getting elongated. I wonder if it may tighten up and actually go on Venice. Kind of stand corrected then. Hey, Paul, watch that Venice Gardens area. Also down around Charlotte Beach, watch that little cell. I'm not getting a feeling for it, but something's lurking down there south of Northport. But Venice Beach, or Venice Gardens, South Venice.
Yeah, Yeah, I see a couple of little hot spots, too, down in southern Charlotte County, just north of the Charlotte-Lee County line, but I don't think those are going to turn into anything.
Yeah, look, I've just changed PV to 0.9, and it's a little bit more defined coming in. I actually stand corrected. It made a right turn and is going towards Venice Gardens, so I'll have to eat crow for that one, but it's making its advancement to the... Oh, they just moved it north. Just moved the line north. Yeah, Paul, so that spot I'm looking at on the 0.9 or the 1 degree, that is the water spout.
Yeah, Roger, I'm seeing it, and I'm looking at the Bravo Victor and the Sierra Roma, the Romeo Victor. I can't talk anymore, and they do correspond.
15 west of Northport, moving at 35 miles per hour. Yeah, I kind of agree with what Brian just said. If it hasn't done so by now, Paul, I think we got landfall right between Venice and South Venice.
Bravo Victor 0.5 is showing a 43 knot burst just south of South Venice. And actually, I've got one now at 45.65 knots.
Yeah, there's a good downpour going on right there. It's Venice Shores, right on the north side between the splits. The 75 split there. I'd be hard-pressed to say that there's not one on the ground, close to, if not near ground level. I'd be surprised if they don't see a dirt ball, but that is a bit far south to see one. Hey, Paul, Brian's asking if there's any damage. I guess that's what you were asking him.
No, that's what they're asking me. I'll ask him. Evans, did you see where this thing more or less makes a left turn as it approaches the coast?
Yeah. I'm surprised Brian hasn't moved the marker north any. I'm sitting here going through the loops watching it, and I saw that was the jog I was talking to you about in between them chatting, but it looks like it's back out over the water heading towards Osprey.
Yeah, copy that. And if you look a little bit further north, up around Sarasota, may have something doing about the same thing.
Watch that one in Manatee that's heading for...
Hey, Evans, they've just pulled the plug on the tornado warning.
Stepping away for a refreshment refill.
Yeah, I'm going to need one of those too here momentarily. NB9X.
This is KD4FM Friday.
Evans, I heard you in there, but I was on the analog side.
Not what I said. Yeah, watching that third line now that's come into the box. Dragon's Tail out 150, maybe 175 from Cape Coral, Naples, way out yonder. But it seems like it's trying to regain its stature there. But of course, the wind fields have swapped up a little bit too.
Yeah, Brian just posted something here on NWS chat. 2 circulations that he's looking at, one just east of Venice showing signs of strengthening, and another near Englewood Rotunda also showing some signs of strengthening as well. That may be part of that line that moved up from South Charlotte County.
Okay, I was looking way out. He must be watching that one by Nokomis, Paul.
He's watching the one by Nokomis, but he's also watching one down near Englewood in the Cape Hayes Peninsula that moved up from southern Charlotte County, and both of them look like they're moving due north, and I am seeing a little life in both of them.
Minnesota Key? I'm seeing that signature over Minnesota and Englewood, and I'm waiting for the update on the storm relative, but the Echo Top, I don't know. I'm running 1.5 degrees on the BV, and I'm seeing the Minnesota Inglewood spot.
There's also an area of wind probably less than 5 miles north of I-75, north of Northport, that is showing a wind signature near 50 knots. That looks like it is headed north-northeast.
I think that's residual off of the one that they just canceled. Right on the northeast side of Osprey. Vamo, up in that area.
No, that's not the one I'm referring to. This one was near the big curve there on I-75 at Northport, and that one has now moved further to the north. And yeah, the one down near Inglewood and Rotunda is looking a little healthier.
I got you now, Paul.
And I'm starting to see a little life out of that westernmost line now too. It looks like things are starting to intensify there.
Yeah, that third line. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if that's going to throw up some life. Question for you: do you have the enhanced data display link?
No, I don't.
Check your NWS chat message for the link.
Here's the second one. That actually created a link for me. But the NWS Enhanced Data Display version 4.6.1, you can get right down to street level and whatnot for observations and everything. It's a nice little tool to have in your box.
Yeah, copy that. I'm looking at it right now.
And if you look down the far low left, you'll see an NWS chat button as well that you can use to log into NWS chat.
Interesting. NV9X.
NI4CE Friday.
Going to be away for just a couple of minutes. Refresh my beverage. NV9X. Stand by. Just had a severe thunderstorm go up.
Just fixing to call it. Go ahead and get your drink real quick. I'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you. You guys see where they put the tornado box inside the severe thunderstorm box, and the tornado is fairly obvious. That's part of that line that came up from the Fort Myers area, crossed into Charlotte County, and now it's crossed into Sarasota and DeSoto County.
Winds are picking up in Manatee County. Report coming out of Charlotte now.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. This is also headed right for the Verna site. I'm going to give KM4WXX a call and give him a heads up.
That's the continuation. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the overall structure here on the 248 nautical mile range. Get the bigger picture of this thing, and the comet tail from this storm goes back quite a ways, so we could be in precip here for a while. NB9X.
Yep, I agree. Run your loop about twice, and watch that band that comes up through Northport, and then keeps trucking on up through Arcadia. I think that thing's growing. We might not be done with that little cell. That's getting a lot of energy coming up into Highlands County.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, but run the base reflectivity on the left side and run your base velocity on the right side. Right now, it looks like the winds are actually starting to fall apart once it gets north of the warning box.
Yeah, the winds are dying down, but the rain and cloud formation is getting elongated from eastern Manatee right up 27, going right up towards Bowling Green. In fact, Wauchula, just west of there, is getting a pretty good amount of rain, and the outflow on the BV is indicative to that.
Yeah, it also looks like that cell that is between the Manatee County line and Wauchula may be getting a bow in it as well. NB9X.
Definitely an interesting morning. North side of that cell just grew, heading towards Fort Greene. It was just yellow over Ona. And the next sweep, south of Fort Greene, a bunch of red just popped up.
Grab the wrong mic. Take a look at your base velocity, and you will see a pattern with some stronger winds moving south to north, all the way out to the western edge of the precinct.
Yep, I see it.
KD40 FM NB9X.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, both the TOR and SVR for southeast Sarasota will expire at 4:45. They're saying it's fallen below severe limits.
I got an expiration at 4:36.
Yeah, that's when they publish the message, but it'll be allowed to expire at 4:45.
Oh, I got the symbols already removed on all my maps already. But QSL.
Yeah, I've still got them. All right, and the 5 o'clock advisory is in on Nestor.
That's a has-been. Oh, jeez. Where are they putting it now? I haven't even opened it yet.
They're saying it's 85 miles south-southwest of Panama City and 75 miles southwest of Apalachicola. Maximum sustained winds of 50, movement to the northeast at 17, but it's still got a minimum pressure of 998. They have dropped the tropical storm warning west of the Okaloosa-Walton County line. Warning is still in effect to Okaloosa-Walton County to Yankeetown. And let's see, the storm surge warning. What happened to my cursor? There we go. Storm surge warning still in effect to Clearwater Beach.
Yeah, I got it dropping off at Homosassa, or just to Crystal River. I just zoomed out on the EDD. Jeez. I was hoping for a little bit more excitement than what it's given us.
Well, it's given us a good reason to sleep in the morning. And all day. Oh well, NB9X.
I agree on that. That little blob on Fort Greene is just growing circumference-wise and kind of separating itself from Zolfo. Wonder what this thing's going to do. Because the winds just don't account for it.
Take a look at what's happening out here to the west of Pinellas County. A couple of those cells are starting to spin up.
Tango 8. I might see a little rotation come off of that, but these other two. Tango 8, Echo 8, and maybe Whiskey 5. Might see something come off of those three.
And we got an SWA for Central Florida.
NB9X EFM.
NB9X. NB9X, you copy?
And west of your location, about 50 miles, it's doing the same thing. Parallel.
Yeah, I've noticed. And I just had to change radios here. I was down to 1% of my battery left.
Had some really interesting dynamics with this, Paul. Watching the south end there, the Comet's Tail, the two Comet's Tail, actually. You got a line traveling north and a line traveling east, and it splits right underneath the northward line as it's approaching Naples. But yeah, there's some upper level dynamics going on and lower level dynamics going on all at the same time. Really call that a tropical characteristic? I don't.
Well, also take a look in the northwest quadrant of your radar display. Is that supposed to be the center of Nestor that is sitting there swirling around? It's about due south of Apalachicola.
I think it is. but yet the low is to the west of that. And of course, they've been talking about that spinoff because it's all on the eastern side of the low. Yeah, this year's doing something funny on multiple levels in the atmosphere. It just almost looks like that open spot up there is going straight for Dixie.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Then again, on the other hand, this storm has been weird from the get-go, and it's got a weird name. What kind of a name is Nestor?
I'll have to text you my response. I can't say it over here.
I just did an internet search. It's supposedly a Greek name from Greek mythology. He's the son of somebody or other.
Huh. A Marine buddy of mine just sent me a note. The damage in North Lakeland, Duff, Galway, and Kathleen areas are bad. Checking on people and have seen appliances in the middle of the road, trees on houses, cars, and a few homes. I just did a refresh and our Marine warning boxes just went away.
Yep, it expired. Mine went away on the last scan, NB9X.
K4FM, say again?
Not sure who that was. The ID that popped up on my radio was 2338.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably accidental. Oh well. So that cell has already made it up into Mulberry. Fort Meade is still growing. It's elongated. It has connected back to the split cell. But yet Fort Meade is getting a little bit redder on the base reflective 5 degree, half a degree.
I just noticed this. They've reissued the special marine warning for the Gulf and also including the waters of Tampa Bay. But the northwestern corner of the warning does not go out as far in the Gulf as the previous warning did. They've brought it in closer to the Pinellas Pasco County line.
Yeah, I don't think that cell up there in that northwest corner right now, heading towards Fernando. I don't think that one looked like it was getting intensified, but it's been weakening the last 2 frames. What I'm curious, though, is what's going on with that line to your west.
Well, I'm going to hazard a guess. It's falling apart. All of those cells that have the potential to hit Pinellas County look like they're weakening.
I agree. Rain's just now starting to pick up here at the house. Yeah, it's gone from a drip to now I'm getting a steady drip coming off the roof.
It's basically a drizzle here, 1/10 of an inch in the last hour. But overall, storm total is 3.39. And the only other one I see up here on the board that even eclipses 2 inches is KK4EQF, who's over in Clearwater Beach. He's got 2.79. And I was just reading the latest hurricane local statement, and they're putting the storm about 180 miles due west of Cedar Key. So yeah, that which we were seeing doing a little rotation dance, that is the center of Nestor.
180 due west?
Yep, that's the way it reads.
That's almost, if I had to guess, Paul, that's almost 100 miles off course, where they're saying it is. I'll say, what did, Brian and Austin are coming up here to Polk County.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, and I'm looking at this now in perspective, and yeah, this is west of Cedar Key, but it's not 180 miles. It's maybe more like 70 miles at the most. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. NB9X.
Well, they did say it was going to be an offset pattern with the convection being actually east of where they say the low is. So I would imagine the hunters, when they take off here in a little bit, if they do, they're going to find that the actual low is where they're painting it on the map, that all the circulation and stuff has been sheared completely to the east. They are giving Polk County an EF0.
No, they gave Seminole an EF0.
Oh, that's right. I see it now. I didn't look at the brackets clear enough. My bad.
I guess we just did too good a job getting information to them about what happened. Well, either that or they're afraid to come over here in my sandbox.
Yeah. I'm still watching this Echo Top in Fort Meade. Almost stationary, even though I got this band coming up through Lakeland. And it's elongating itself towards the northwest. Now it's almost stretching like 98 down to Fort Meade. I'm sorry. Down the tail's going from Lakeland down to Sebring.
Well, it is trying to grow, but it may not have enough stuff to get it done.
Yeah, so I think it may be time to just take a swig of water, brush my teeth, and put it between the sheets. It don't look like we're going to see anything else bubble up out of this. I don't think. I mean, west of you, it's losing exposure.
Yeah, the only possibility I see, we're still about an hour and a half from sunrise, and once the sun comes up, that may add enough energy to it to, give it a little more life, but I kind of sort of doubt it. And the only thing I'm seeing here, on the scope, as far as cloud tops are concerned, there's one cell that is west of Naples, maybe 60, 75 miles, that shows any sign of life, and that too will probably expire NB9X.
Now, what's your take on it? You think this is just going to be a wet fizzle for now, at least? Give me a little shut-eye.
Well, based on what I'm seeing here, we've got about 20 miles of precip to the west of the coastline here north of Tampa. Obviously more than that to the south, but, that's the comet tail. I think it's entirely possible that there could be clearing along the coastline here by sunrise.
That's kind of what I'm feeling, Paul. Other than that cell is elongated itself up through Bartow now. It looks like it's nothing more than good sleeping weather for the rest of the morning.
Yeah, for grins, I went up on aviationweather.gov and took a look at the latest readings from Brooksville. The winds are 10 miles an hour. It's nothing.
Take a gander at PEM, Bartow. I think it's -1 or -10. I don't remember which one it is, but that right now would be a majority activity for Bartow.
Well, I'm seeing PEM 11, which, let's see, what happened to it here? It had been 11 gusts to 22, and then my screen blanked, and when I came back, it's changed to 8 with a gust to 17. And that is, I won't say that's the strongest. W4 KPR in Sun City Center is 13 gusting to 20.
It's lost its fizz, pretty much. I mean, right now, Medela, Eden Park, even the Polk Parkway, it's just water in the grass. Yeah, Paul, this cell's breaking up over Lakeland. Looks like it's breaking up over Bartow also. Have a good one. I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Been fun working with you.
Well, likewise, Evans, and I'll tell you what, if I don't see any more activity coming up here in the next half hour, I will probably pull the plug at 6 o'clock, too. Good working with you, 73. And glad we were able to get together and make a difference. NB9X.
K4CBN, KT4RJ on statewide 1200 NXDN. K4CBN, KT4RJ on top group 1200. This is KT4RJ on top group 1200. Florida statewide NXDN. Anybody give me a signal report? KT4RJ.
KT4RJ, KT4ACG, you're making it in, no problem.
Yeah, KT4ACG, yeah, thank you. Good morning. I was beginning to wonder. I had some trouble on my repeater side here. Unable to get into one of the repeaters now that I was. Evans, actually, for some reason last night, just went from receiving and fine to nothing. So, on the hotspot, I just wanted to make sure I was getting out there. Appreciate you coming back to me. KT4RJ.
Yeah, no problem. I guess the storm took a toll on the repeater. I think he's going to try to check it out today. He's got time. KT4ACG.
Roger that. Yeah, very good. Yeah, it looks like they got some yellow coming over my house here now. It sounds like the rain's picking up, but hopefully that's all it is. No more of that high wind stuff. I'm only like less than a mile from that Kathleen Middle School that had the roof ripped off of it last night. Man, what a mess. But anyway, take care. Thank you. Appreciate that. KT4RJ.